All right. So, hey, welcome to the call. Um, the my my biggest purpose with this call is to be really talk about how we can use make 'em big to buy mini monopoly AI to make more sales. Whether you just want to make sales for whatever you do using mini monopoly AI, whether you want to use it to get clients, or whether you actually want to sell it itself. And there are a few different things that I had two people beg to buy from me yesterday. So I just want to show you one was accidental, one was a little bit more intentional. One, let me just share my iPad screen here. Where's the see the image that I have? Okay, so this one, I was reaching out to her to see about possibly giving her money to promote to her email list. And so then she was asking about the mini monopoly AI. And so I sent her over there. So I sent her to this page, and she saw the pricing was $1,000, but she's like, okay, but can't I get that $297 offer, which is what she's asking here? I'm like, oh yeah, sure, yes you can. Just have a coupon code. So I sent her the coupon code, and she bought. And so the big point that I want to make here is that the stuff that we have put together, the very same stuff that had people buy in the group, that has us up to like a total of 127 buyers, 137 buyers if we include some of the people who've done licensing. It's just kind of showing what this thing can do. And I mean, I've tried to sell a lot of stuff in my life, some fairly successfully, some not so successfully. But for me, this has been the easiest thing that I've ever sold. And so I can't say it enough. And so I'll show you the other one. This guy, what he responded to a post I did about, okay, hey, I have this Hell Island GPS thing. What you want to find out what it says about your market, basically. And so then so I asked the two questions on the Hell Island GPS of like, yeah, tell me who your perfect customers are or your best customers are and what problem you help them solve. He sent it to me. I didn't do a damn thing other than drop it into the tool, copied the output, dropped it into a Google Doc, and said, hey, what do you think of this? And you see his response right there. He wants to come back and pay me money for something. And I did once again, I didn't even offer him this thing. He hasn't watched a demo, anything. It's just like I just did this little thing for him in 2 minutes, dropped it into a Google Doc, shared it, and he wants to come back and pay me money. So my point is that whether you're actually selling the tools or just using the tools wanting to sell services, like it literally can be that easy. And Jason and I have been brainstorming a couple of things, and I think I can make it even easier. I've got a couple angles that I want to write into a couple of simple things that so I want to back up and just give a little bit more context here of the way I see what these tools are about. So these tools, my personal perspective on them is that they are to help people who have something good to sell but are not selling as much as they want. Guess who that is? It's like everybody who's trying to sell anything. Nobody's selling as much of whatever they have as they want to be. And so that's the simple recurring dilemma that never goes away. Even for me, like you've seen me a couple of times. Some of you have seen me a couple of times. Some of you just most recently, like being able to do these things where we're generating a bunch of sales. previously with Travis Spiegel's My Peeps, we generated a bunch of sales with that. Then here with the Mini Monopoly AI, you've seen us generate a bunch of sales. And how long do you think I went before I didn't want to sell any more stuff? Like 30 minutes or something? Like it's a problem that doesn't go away for anybody, no matter how much they're selling. And so to me, anybody that you see selling something, if they don't have this problem right now of wanting to sell more, give them 30 minutes. They're going to want to sell more by then. It's just, it's always happening. And so I just, like, to me, when I think about it, when I think about eating, like, I go a few hours between meals. I like, but I still, doesn't matter how much I ate yesterday. I still want to eat today. But I can wait a few hours and be okay. When it comes to wanting to sell more stuff, the timeline is shorter. Like, no, how fast can I sell more? So just like it's this recurring problem. And so one of the big problems that people have, though, when it comes to selling to a recurring problem is that we assume everybody knows the problem. And so we're just like, we're focused on the fact that, okay, they know the problem. So what's my thing? What's my solution? What's my, like my favorite generic name that I've been using is, what's my whiz banger 2025 that people got to have? Like everybody is focused too much on their whiz banger instead of seeing the people there. So this is the thing. If you saw my email that I sent a couple hours ago, this is the big competitive advantage that we have, and it gets stronger because of these tools. So I'm gonna, I've got some pictures to show, but I don't want to jump straight into that yet. So try to slow this down, and Jason and Chad help me out if it feels like I go too fast or anything, because I might get slightly excited. But okay, so these people with this problem that the Mini Monopoly AI tools solve, having something great to sell, not making as many sales as I want. Okay, so we assume everybody knows that they have that problem. But it's when a problem becomes so repetitive and ongoing and constant, even the people who have it forget about it. And so they start chasing other things. And so guess where they are? They're running around Hell Island without what? A GPS. So everybody with a recurring problem that they haven't solved, it's because they don't have the GPS to navigate where they're at. If they did, they would be gone, right? So any place that I want to go, if I have the GPS to get me there and the vehicle, I go. Pretty easy. If I have no idea where I want to go, I'm distracted by a bunch of other things, and then even if I know the terrain, I'm still lost because I'm too distracted, disoriented. And so, number one big competitive advantage we have is the Hell Island GPS. With the Hell Island GPS, we can describe their situation better than they can describe it to themselves, better than anybody else is describing it to them. We have this thorough, complete map at just 2 minutes away from us, from telling them exactly what's going on with them. And so if we're helping somebody who sells to other people, we can do that very same service for them, which is what I did with the one guy you saw that said, "Oh, I'm going to come back, and because I want to know my Hell Island GPS for my coaching program." Okay, cool. So he's going to come back. But when we're doing that sort of thing, like I ask a simple question when I give them a sample, how does that look to you? So I don't even have to be perfect. And I don't really care that much about how perfect the Hell Island GPS results are, because I don't have to be attached to it. It's not like I put in hours and hours of research and study. And so then I have to show up. I have to be right because of everything that I've put into it. Plus, this person's paying me money or all of that stuff. Is like we get rid of all of that unnecessary, challenging stuff that can get in the way. I know it's gotten in the way for me in the past. And so we just get rid of all of that stuff. It's not personal anymore. I'm just using the tool. This is what the tool said based on what you told me. And so then how's that look? So most people, the response that I get is, whoa, that looks amazing, just like the one that you saw. Some people, oh, I think maybe it's missing this or this is not right. Okay, cool. Let me make some adjustments. So I go back and I type the next prompt in. Okay, this is good, but it left out this or it's not thinking about that. Give me a new one. And so then I copy and paste that and I say, how about now? How's it look? And there's probably nobody that you can find who's decent at their business that you can't within 2 or 3 tries at the most really get their hell island for their people nailed. It's just it is that simple, and we don't have to be an expert in that niche as long as they know what they're doing and what they want in that niche. So super simple. So I'm just gonna slow down for a second there and like just Jason and Chad, like tell me if this is tracking any pieces that feels like I'm skipping over just so far with just this first part.
I think it sounds great. I think for me, my problem is I overcomplicate it. So, and yeah, I think what you're saying is spot on. Just like put it out there for them and just say, what do you think? And let them tell you instead of worrying if it's you got everything right. Let the tool do its job.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the way I think about it. Harry said he's liking it as well. Great. Thank you, Harry. Um, any thoughts there, Jason, that just about anything or anything you
Yeah,
want to add or highlight?
I, I was gonna say, and apologies in advance if there's loud childlike noises outside of the room here, but no, that tracks really well for me. And as you're talking through it, I just think in my head like there are kind of two ways to make the sale. You can either go the long route of like building up status and the shaking it on TikTok and making names for yourself by getting on podcast interviews and all these different things. And like once you built up a name, it gets a little bit easier to make the sale. But if you don't have that in advance, the fastest and easiest way seems to be going completely the other route and showing people just through connection that you understand where they're coming from, that you understand their side of the problem, the struggles of what they're going through and how they're trying to solve the problem, all the things they hate about that. Like if you can describe that in a way is that even they can't describe, then you don't need to have a name or have all this status built up. You're just using that connection, which is pretty easy to do just by plugging it into the tools to be able to show that you care and leads to the implication that you have a solution that fits with that.
Yes. Perfect. Perfect. And so with the two of you of what you guys have said, a couple of things um, just to really hopefully even make this easier because I've done so much of exactly what Chad was talking about of like overcomplicating. I've done so much of what Jason is talking about of like, okay, how can I look smart or be impressive or whatever, all of those things. And okay, yeah, go ahead and raise your hand, Harry, and I will bring you up. Um, but I've done both of those things, and I'm still just as susceptible to it as anybody else. And so, believe me, I don't think it's a thing that actually goes away. It's a thing that we just keep dealing with of that we can overcomplicate things, and we can think how people see us is more important than it really is. And so the but the foundation of a couple of those things, I'm going to give you like a little leverage point, hopefully here that for some of you it's going to be a reminder that you've probably heard a bunch of times. For others, it could be new, but this is like one of the most important things that I've heard for well over 10 years and has taken me longer and longer to just fully embrace. Like it just keeps going deeper and deeper for me. And so this is what it is. I'm going to say it a couple times. To me, this is a writer downer, if especially if you don't know this one. But people don't buy because they understand what you do. They buy because they feel, capital big old letters, feel understood. And so this is the primary work that I do anytime that I am interacting with somebody who might want to buy something. My number one job is to make them feel understood and to verify that understanding is taking place. Because we can think, oh yeah, I understand. I've been through that 1,000 times. I know exactly what they're doing. Here's what you need, the Whizbanger 2025. And so we jump past that and we don't know what they feel unless we verify it, unless we see those signals. And so when I'm closing sales by chat or doing some of these things that I'm just showing a couple of examples here, like somebody recently, I've talked about it a bit, like was begging to buy consulting with me. I sold her a $15,000 consulting package just for a few months. Somebody that I didn't even know, all focused on making sure that she felt understood. And I genuinely want to understand people myself. So it's a fascination for me. But it doesn't matter what I think I understand about somebody if they don't feel understood. So I can't say that one enough. And so I'll even repeat it if you didn't get it written down the first time. People don't buy because they understand what you do. They buy because they feel understood. And so then we need to verify what they're feeling. So when I come back to then now, pre-selling, the 5 P's of pre-selling, there's a reason that personality and philosophy are condiments on the pre-selling sandwich. Like they're a small bit of it, but the other pieces are about understanding the person, making them feel understood, present pain, helping them know that we see and understand their present pain. So I'm just going to go back to the example here of the problem that we're selling into with the mini monopoly tools of I have something great, but I'm not selling enough of it. That's pretty easy to verify with somebody. Like, wow, that I just saw your posting about your Whizbanger 2025. That thing looks amazing. Just wondering, are you at capacity now, or do you have a few spots open for that? So we're not coming in some weird way that makes them look like an idiot. Like, I bet you're not selling those things, even though you're talking about it, which is true. How do we know people aren't selling as much as they want to? Because they're fucking advertising it somewhere. They want to sell more of it. There's the evidence is out there. So I just part of me getting so excited about this is because I've been missing this stuff myself, and so I'm speaking to myself just as much as I'm speaking to anybody else here. Just so you know. But people's behaviors will tell you they have this problem. Okay, and so then we can come in and with a way of finding out the truth without coming in like with some sort of a hammer and trying to make them look or feel bad. Like, whoa, that thing looks amazing. You still have spots open for it? Something that simple, and naming the thing, whatever they call it. Yeah, your Whizbanger 2025 looks amazing. Still got openings? Simple. Then we find out what is going on, and a lot of times they're going to like get overly excited because they think, oh, you might be a prospect, and like I said, they have the problem of not selling as much as they want to sell, and so sometimes they're going to get overly excited, and so we just really have to slow those conversations down, take them step by step, and that sort of thing. But anyway, back to, so hopefully I'm going to weave back to where I was starting, and so this opportunity, number one, step number one. If somebody's not selling as much as they want to be selling, the thing that we can offer them that they're not doing is and so I'm going to write some short posts and some content that you guys are going to be able to use toward this thing. I was just thinking about how I want to do it this morning, so I don't have them written yet. But basically, I'm going to give you the short version. If you've got something great and you're not selling as much of it as you want to, it could be that your audience doesn't feel understood. We have this tool that can mind read, kind of x-ray the minds of your best customers to tell you exactly what they're thinking and what they're paying attention to now, so that you can get in front of their attention and they'll pay attention to you. Would you like that? Okay, then you take whatever they say, drop it into Hell Island. Like it's literally that simple. It'll be, I'll probably get a transcript of this thing, but like what I said there is close enough, and there you can work with it, and it's just that. So, oh yeah, I was going to even talking about like pre-selling, right? So okay, so we know the pain of the thing that they have. Then what's this costing them? You're exhausting yourself probably trying to sell your Whizbanger 2025. All of these people are coming up looking like they're interested, but then they have immediate objections and all of this stuff. And so, and you've probably hired copywriters. You've done this, you've done that. Old plan. So all of these things that they've done, this might be a long shot, but I have this way of doing an x-ray into the minds of your best customers. Would you like me to do that for free and just see what it comes up with? So new plan, simple, easy to say yes to. And then you see like the ones that I've been sharing, and if any of you guys have shared them with people, you can get an immediate win for them and for yourself of like, whoa, holy crap. Yes, that is what my people are thinking. So it's this, just want to just keep breaking it down to how simple it can be. And just like, we want to, in the overcomplication that Chad was talking about, that I've done a million times myself, is we want to talk about too much stuff. We want to bring too much to the table. No, start with just bringing this little friggin' x-ray into the mind of your perfect customers. Bring that to the table, and you will be amazed at how many opportunities that little thing will open for you. And you will, for one thing, you're going to be like positioned completely different. You're going to have the unfair advantage that I've been talking about. You're going to have an unfair advantage against all of the people that are out there trying to sell them these massive solutions. You're the person who slowed down, connected with them, and gave them something valuable and personalized for free. Different than lead magnets, watch this video, all of this stuff. Like you're just this go-between to starting to connect them to what they want, opening them to a new perspective of what's going on in their market. And then you see the things from the couple of DMs that I showed. Okay, I'm going to come back. I'm going to buy it. coming back and buying. Or the other, can I get it for 297 right now? Yeah. Okay. Sure. Get it. Here's the coupon code. Go buy it. It's like literally the like, so let me just kind of also confess to my own learning curve. The first time that I heard Travis talk about people begging to buy from you, like I thought it sounded great. I thought it was a cool idea. What am I up here? Okay, there. Anyway, it was a cool idea. Totally screwed it up in so many ways. It just didn't know what the heck to do with it, and I'm getting a hang of it. So I've had people begging to buy multiple $1,000 things. I was DMing with TJ earlier, just about how I sold output from my little AI project that I have in Claude for $6,000. Took me a couple hours, and I sold that by DM. So it's possible, believe me, to sell the outputs. It wasn't from these tools, it's from a special project that I've put together. And I had to know what the advantages were that I was selling to the guy. I wasn't selling the guy AI output. I was selling him the advantages from this particular AI output in the place that we're putting it for him. And so I'm going to go into that thing maybe here in a minute as well. But anyway, let me come back, circle back. So when we show up thinking smaller, let me give you a personalized x-ray into the minds of your best customers. And then we give people something that's mind-blowing, that's more comprehensive than they've ever seen, that is more complex than any of them have put together on their own. Then we get a big win for ourselves. We get a big win for them. We start building the connection. We open the possibilities of them that they're already pre-sold. Like if you're already selling the mini monopoly AI tools, you'll see, just like I've had, people are going to beg to buy, like, okay, let me buy those things. Where's the coupon code? Come on, quit screwing around. Give me my damn coupon code. I want it now. So it's like literally that easy. And it's so much less about a focus on the tools and selling the tools. It's just like showing up and connecting on their real problem. And so I was attempting to pull a few things together there. I might have messed it up a little bit. So you guys chime in up here and let me know if that stayed coherent.
No, actually, I mean, it makes a lot of sense to me, just, being in Travis's world, think of it like the 2-page Google Doc. Cash Machine is all about like bite-sized microwave offers and stuff. But here you are, you just have this little simple offer of this output from this tool that gives the x-ray into their customers' minds, what they're thinking. And it's like, like, again, that whole overcomplicating it thing, like that's just so simple and easy. But then I just feel like I'm gonna go out and try it now and screw it up somehow.
Yeah, just so my I'm going to repeat a philosophy that I've adopted since our trip to Little Rock in October. It's think smaller, test faster, stack wins. The more that I do that, and it requires slowing down and like, no, okay, what's the smallest piece that could be mind-blowing for this person? Like we can lose track of how mind-blowing the Hell Island GPS output is for people, especially if we've been using the tool a lot. We've done it with a bunch of people. It's like, gosh, okay, here's that long list of stuff again. And we're not in their experience. They're experiencing it for the first time. And they're also probably experiencing for the first time somebody slowing down and connecting with them. And so just want to like emphasize those couple things. But yeah, like for sure, that to me, it's another writer down where I've written it down. I've said it so many times that it's starting to be tattooed in my brain of think smaller, test faster. And so test faster, testing is like, okay, take an action that we can verify what the heck happened. So think smaller, small actions that we can just verify. Okay, hey, I sent this DM. The person did respond. They said this. The person didn't respond, whatever. Like a DM is a test. Every time you send a DM to somebody is a test. Commenting on people's Facebook posts, for example. So you could go to social media, Facebook, LinkedIn, wherever that people are talking about their whiz bangers, and you can comment there and start working on ways to connect with people just with small comments there that we're not showing them up or anything, but we're like, whoa, okay, this person's showing up a little bit differently here. So being able to do that and go, like I said, going to the place where they're giving you the evidence that they're not selling as much as they want. Any advertisement is a message. I'm not selling as much as I want. So you have solutions for that if you have the mini monopoly tools, and you have more solutions if you have a license. Okay, yep, Harry said, yeah, think smaller, test faster, stack wins. And so an important part just on the stack wins piece to think about for a second is that when we're doing a thing, like we have an intention usually, like, okay, I think this person's going to do X. And so there's some prediction and some hope of what they're going to do. And sometimes we're right. A lot of times I'm wrong. And so either they do something that surprises me, that's good. They do something that I don't like, whatever. But it's all just like, it's all to me learning. And the only way that I've found that I actually learn is through testing and like, okay, what happened? Okay, what happened again? Okay, what happened again? And just doing those things because we're in this world that focuses way too much on okay, I didn't think I was going to go here. Hopefully this doesn't sound too weird or too deep, but I feel it's a fun and important thing to share. This guy who's one of my favorite people, he talks about the 4 different levels of knowing. And so we have green water. I was planning on blue, but that's all right. It's green. Anyway, he talks about these 4 levels of knowing. And our society, so many people are focused on the first level, which is, let's see, propositional knowing. So this is knowing the facts, being able to say the things. And this is what we were all trained in school, propositional knowing. This is that. A cat is spelled C-A-T, like all of these things. And it's some personal, some stuff that we absolutely need, but there's like just an over focus on that. And the next piece is procedural. What's the sequence of processes? And even, oh, the steps are A, B, C, and D. Like, so we can take that from a very propositional perspective, but actually doing it is a different level of procedural knowing. Like I can actually do the thing. Like my youngest granddaughter she's just turned a year. And so she just started walking recently. And so she's seen walking. If she was like, if babies had the cognitive ability, she could talk about what it looked like, what walking looked like. But now she's got that, she can walk across the room. And so it's like, it's changed for her. And so then the next level of depth is, yeah, that's it. Perspectival. So perspectival knowing. And so one interesting way that I like to think about this is that most of us grew up riding in cars. And so we're riding in the back seat. Maybe, I don't know, they didn't have seatbelts when I was a kid, so we were all over the place. But nowadays, kids are primarily in the back seat in their car seats. And then as they get bigger, then they're in the passenger seat. But that perspective from shifting from the passenger seat over to the driver's seat, it's 3 feet away, but it's a million miles away at the same time because now, holy crap, I got the steering wheel, I've got the brake, I've got the gas, I've got all of this stuff, and so the perspective changes depending on where we are within things, and then the final is participatory. So that's the deepest level of knowing. That's why I have to keep running these tests. I have to be in that game. I have to be participating to really learn the things other than by watching. Like we can pick up some clues and some hints by watching, but we have to be in the game. And so even so much of what Chad was talking about, like, okay, biting off too big of things. Like if I'm trying to participate in something too big, then there are too many moving pieces. And so I don't actually learn. I don't understand the things that I get when I'm just like at the smaller level involved there. And yeah, I didn't think I was going to be talking about this, but it's another one of my favorite concepts is like taking it down to the depths of like, Travis uses the bike riding example a lot. Like you can just go through this sequence quite easily of like it's very different of like knowing about riding a bike, learning about it. Oh no, I get it. You get on here, you turn the pedals with your feet, you steer. Yeah, but if you don't have that perspective of being on the bike with the wind, in my case, coming across the top of my head is very different. And then being able to then, okay, how do I navigate this thing without crashing it? So with everything that we become really good at, it goes through those 4 levels. So anyway, so that's, let's see. So I'm gonna slow down here for a second because I feel like I'm talking a lot and I'm intentionally trying to be slow and trying to keep pieces connected. So, and just want to verify once again with you guys, like, okay, where are we at here as far as is it still connecting and making sense?
Yeah, for me, that those 4 levels of knowing is very helpful. And so I know that my thing is I've got to get down to that bottom level, and start actually participating and continuing to do until I guess that's kind of with like even with creating offers and dialing it in, right? You're participating enough in testing so that you dial that offer in so that actually know you can put it out there and it's gonna sell and stuff like that. So that's kind of one of the things that I thought about.
Yeah. Okay. So that thing that you just said, we've had some conversations in our house about that one. And Shelly and I, we have some friends who are coaches and who are trying to sell coaching and not doing it very well. And they have these fictitious audiences that someday maybe they're going to sell to and all of this stuff. And to me, what I've realized, especially now through selling mini monopoly AI and licenses for that, is I don't know anything about my audience if they're not buying. And all I'm doing is I'm just making some stuff up, hoping that it works. I only know when I have the verification that sales are coming through, like, okay, good. I understand these people. We have at least that connection of them feeling understood well enough, and this offer connects well enough that they're willing to buy it because they believe it will help them. That's the only evidence that I trust from now on these days, of like, I don't care what people say or anything, and I've heard this as a theory, but I can only know if I'm actually getting sales. That's my only verification that I trust. And so yeah, 100% tracking with you there, Chad. Anything you were gonna add, Jason?
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say I kind of tying it into those 4 levels of knowing too and actually living this out and acting on it. I like that we're chunking it down here too, because it can feel like when you're getting on the bike, like that can be pretty intimidating. But thinking about just what is the first step or what is the smallest step, and that always, it reminds me of Travis always talking about flip the coin,
Yep.
just get out there and take that first action and do it as quickly as you can. If you know that you got an outsized upside, if it lands on heads or if it lands on tails, it's like almost nothing. That can be any comment or any DM or whatever. So it's just a matter of seeing the signals that are already out there of people that are not selling as much as they would like to, which is anybody who's promoting their stuff in a Facebook post or in an ad, which, you'd have to close your eyes not to stumble into those things if you're going on there. But just seeing those first steps and really chunking it down, I like and makes it a whole lot easier to think through.
Cool. Cool. So I'm going to shift gears here a little bit, but to me, it's the same conversation. And so Peter Drucker has this quote basically saying, hey, we need to treat everybody as volunteers. Everybody is here wherever it is, whether they're buyers, wherever they are, they're here willingly or they're gone. Like that, there's some reason that they're here, that they're volunteering to stay because they think it's beneficial enough for them, or they're gone. They're not here anymore. So treating everybody as volunteers. So thinking about that when it comes to customers, when it comes to partnerships, when it comes to whatever it is. And so to me, the biggest successes that I've had, for those of you that saw or were involved in the My Peeps launch last year, that was a partnership between Travis Spiegel, Travis Sago, and myself. And you've seen the Mini Monopoly recently, a partnership between Jason, Travis Sago, and myself. And the new book that's coming out, partnership between Jason, Travis, and myself. And so everything I like to think of in terms of profitable partnerships, that is what I'm always looking to build. Even if somebody's paying me money, I want it to be some sort of partnership. It is how I think about it, how I feel about it. And so I've gotten pretty damn good at it, in my opinion, a hell of a lot better than I ever used to be. And so I just want to share the basics of how I think about that, because once again, this comes to selling. Like partnering with whoever you're selling with is one of the most powerful ways to sell. And it doesn't require some legal formal partnership or anything, but the more we understand what it is that they're looking to do, and we partner with them on what they want through what it is that we have to offer, that's how I look at this. And so anyway, I'm going to break down here for you the way I look at profitable partnerships and like the key elements for them. And so this is so in the case of where if it's something where I'm looking to get paid, select this pen over here. If it's a partnership that I'm looking to get paid, I want it to be easy for me to get paid. And so in the partnerships that I've done with both of the Travises, with Travis and Jason, that's one of the things that we're setting up. And so it's easy for everybody involved to get paid. And that's what we have in mind, exactly what we have in mind as we created the licensing for the Mini Monopoly. We want it as easy as possible for the folks who come on as licensees to get paid. And the easiest way that we've come up with is like, okay, we're going to provide all of these selling tools, make it easy to sell. You collect the money. And so having as few links in the chain as possible, the best partners. And so the way that I look at it as licensees are partnering into a partnership that's already created. between Jason, Travis Sago, and myself. Travis Sago's work, baseline work, is what was the creation of the tools. Jason doing the technical and psychological, the selling understanding of what was required to put into those tools to do our best to reflect Travis's work. Me partnering with Jason in a lot of that, just kind of the direction of the creation, and then me primarily in the presentation and the selling. And then an offer that you love. Like these, to me, are the three elements every time I've been the most successful in a partnership. It has been easy for me to get paid. I pick the absolute best partners that I can. Partners that maybe if I would approach them and try to talk to them about being partners, they maybe would have laughed me out of the room before. But the way that I do partnering is I create some stuff. I make some momentum happen the best that I can to have a thing that's attractive for them to partner with. And so I've done, like for our licensees, I've done a lot of that work of, I've done the partnering with Sago. I've done the partnering with Jason that you don't have to. Like, hey, if you get these tools, you come along for the ride with the whatever partnering I'm able to do. And so they're all in there. Like, and the best partners to me are the people who are smartest at what they do especially compared to where I am, highly ethical, fun people to work with. And the most important part of picking partners that a lot of people don't think about that is misunderstood. And I'm talking about whether we're picking customers as partners or picking partners partnering on projects. People who are already doing the thing without me saying, hey, you need to do this thing. I don't want to partner with customers, so I have to say, hey, you need to do this thing. Screw that. No, they're already doing the thing. I'm trying to sell more of my stuff. Okay, cool. If you're doing that, yeah, I want to partner with you as my customer. And in Jason's case with the tools, Jason was already creating tools. Travis has written the book. Travis has done all his stuff. Like he voluntarily did what he did. And so we're partnering with material that he's already created. Plus we're in a mastermind, so we have some access to him, but it's not like he and I are buddies hanging out 3 or 4 times a week on Zoom talking about stuff or anything like that. That doesn't have to be to that level, but catching partners who are already doing the thing. And so this is what so many people overlook. And so this is why, once again, what we've designed into the tools, people are already trying to sell their stuff. And so, okay, how do we make it easier for them? How do we come in and give them more tools, better tools, more powerful insight into who it is that they're selling to so that they can sell more? And then, of course, an offer you love. And if you don't love Mini Monopoly AI, that's cool. Not everybody would or should, but I know I love it. Jason loves it. A lot of people do love it. People that we show it to, not everybody, but a lot of people we show it to are like, hey, how do I get those things? And so to me, this is the essence of like what I'm looking to do. And so I'm going to take this one more level here is like, so the bigger outcomes. So the outcomes that I'm looking for is that I want this to be fulfilling. I want it to be meaningful to me. For me, I get a lot of fulfillment and meaning working with cool people. It's just one of the things that I'm wired for. One of the places that I have the most fun. And so that's what I'm looking for. And if I'm selling to people, I want to sell to smart customers because to me, that's more fulfilling. If I'm working with people, I want to work with smart people who stretch me, who cause me to have to look at things differently, to grow, to that sort of thing. Like all of that is very fulfilling to me. I want it to be lucrative. Fulfilling's nice. Fulfilling's great. I love it. It's not enough. I want it to be lucrative as well. Like, and so even as a customer, when I'm the customer, I want that to be lucrative. I want to be buying advantages that are lucrative for me. Otherwise, why would I be doing it? And it doesn't only have to be financially lucrative, like that's a big part, but financially lucrative, emotionally lucrative, energetically lucrative. These things that really make my life better, that's profitable in multiple ways. And then the other, I want it to be fun. If it doesn't tick those three boxes for me, I'm probably doing it for the wrong reasons. And when I'm smart, like I am a lot better at this age than I used to be. When I'm smart, I walk away if it doesn't tick all three of those boxes. And so hopefully this perspective is helpful in just thinking about selling, who you want to sell to, who you want to interact with. Like, okay, if you want to use mini monopoly tools to help people, pick your favorite people to help. Make sure they have offers you love. Make sure it's easy for you to get paid. And so you do a small amount of work up front to build that connection, do that personalization, and then make sure, okay, you can get paid then for the next steps because you've created that bond and that trust and that connection that makes it easy for them to pay you. If you're doing it with partnerships, like to me, what I hope we've done, what I believe that we've done, our licensees are the only ones who can individually say, but I mean, we're trying to be the best partners that we can for them so it's fulfilling. We want it to be as lucrative as possible, as easy for them to get paid as possible. And fortunately, like we've had two people who have already made 5 sales each and paid for their license back, which is awesome. And hopefully what we're doing today is fun. Hopefully what got you involved in the first place was fun and that it continues to be fun. Like, so those are the things that I'm looking to do. And the more that I have fun with the right people, the money starts taking care of itself. I didn't know this. This is a new learning for me. But if I focus on these two, that's where my attention needs to go personally because I've been trained to do things the hard way, to do things that I have to work for money. It's not supposed to be fun to get paid. All of these things that so many of us have been accustomed to. And so those are the two places that I look. And if I can't partner with people who almost feel like I think there's a term like in dating, like dating out of their league or something. Like that's what I go for. Like, okay, how can I date out of at least what I feel like my league is as far as even taking on clients or customers, like I told you, like the $15,000 consulting for a few months with somebody, like people who are willing to pay that kind of money would have been very weird and intimidating. I would have messed it up in a bunch of ways before. And so it's just this constant stretching up that makes these things possible. So I'm going to stop for a second there then and just make sure that we're tracking, make sure I'm not like I'm going off on too many tangents here and hopefully creating the thread of tying this thing together.
Yeah, I definitely say so. Yeah, you're definitely opening my mind up to some things. Like some of the stuff I've kind of heard, but like the way you're explaining it, like I'm going back thinking of some things Travis said, like, man, this makes so much more sense now the way Jim explained it. And sometimes I need that. Like Travis is amazing, but sometimes having someone who has a little bit of a different perspective helps bring it together. So the focusing on the right people and making sure it's fun, like making that the priority and then the money will come. That really connected with me. Because I've too often only did it for the money and then end up hating the people and I'm bored to death or just frustrated and the money isn't worth it. So it's like completely the opposite.
Yeah, exactly. And I've been there so many times. And as far as drinking out of the Travis fire hose, like
Mhm.
I can't do it. I like we had the mastermind call yesterday. I only could walk away with one thing. Fortunately, it's an awesome thing,
Mhm.
and it's going to be revolutionary for me. But I was telling Shelly like I've signed off after an hour. It's a 2 hour long call. I'm like I can't take any more of this, and so I left after an hour. Went upstairs just feeling exhausted and overwhelmed, and then, but then this morning I'm like, okay, now I see the thing that I couldn't see, and so yeah, so for me, my personal strategy is to take Travis in the small bites that are as I look for what's immediately most relevant for what I'm trying to do, because what my big challenge was before is that I was trying to chase too many of the things that Travis was saying, and I was too scattered, I was too overwhelmed, and so now I know exactly what I'm doing, and so I'm just looking pinpoint and pulling the stuff from Travis that matches exactly where I'm trying to go, because it's way too much otherwise. So yeah, hopefully that's helpful.
Yeah, it
All right,
is. Thank you.
Harry. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
Harry.
I just wanted to thank you. Yeah, I just wanted to agree with Chad. You remind me of when I speak to my kids or when I spoke to my kids, they're adults now. Um, it was like I'd say something, my wife would come along and say, "What your dad means is," and then they go, "Oh." I think sometimes I feel like that with Travis is like, "Boom! Oh my word, that's amazing!" And then he'd come along and say, "Okay, cool." What he means to say is, or a different perspective. So I really enjoy it. In fact, I always I don't know what I'm gonna get when I come to these calls, but it's always it's always great. It's always something that I think, yeah. And I've had the same um revelation in that I was trying to do too many things, um, and I was gonna okay, it's here, and I could do this, and I could do that, I could do the other. So I'm starting now to start to think, and mini monopoly is my focus now. Is to say, okay, this is amazing, but if I try to do everything at once, nothing's going to happen. If you chase two rabbits, you catch neither. So, like that, I'm going to be okay. Let's slow it down, think smaller, test faster in a particular area, and then there's always room to grow after that. Because by focusing on this, then it becomes very, very, very profitable. That's it.
Okay, cool. Cool. Yeah, no, thanks, Harry. That's great. And if you notice, like this is mind blowing to me every time I think about it. Like we have picked two friggin' pages in the book, maybe a page and a half of the first chapter of the first sentence in chapter 3 about the mini monopoly. Travis doesn't talk about that anywhere else. Like, look at what's happening just from this little tiny thing that we're focused on. And of course, it expands from there into so much of his other stuff. But just that, like, it's too big of a fire hose for me, and I think for most people, maybe there's some people that it's not. I don't know, but so for me, it's yeah, mini monopoly, and then of course AI. The commitment that I've made, like no, I'm living in the green zone on the AI profit curve. My plan's to profit every month the rest of my life, and the clock starts over every month, and just that focus right there has just well, like you've seen 127 sales now, 137 including the first licensee sales that have come through just by focus on a page and a half in the book. And so yeah, so hopefully that is a helpful example. Anything you were going to add, Jason?
Yeah, no, just echoing what Harry and Chad have already said. It's it's very tempting to just add on, and I get so excited about so many different things that I have it on my calendar every Sunday is my whittle down day. I do my weekly review, and then I'm like, oh, here are all the extra commitments or extra things that I got excited about this week that I need to pull back on and focus in on what's really first things first here. Um, But also just to add on the fun, fulfillment, and lucrative side, that I've definitely made that mistake so many times, and I've found that it's the more that I focus in on the fun and fulfillment myself, it just happens to be more lucrative that way. I don't know if it's just something that partners and clients and everybody can feel, that you're giving off that energy, that you're not chasing money, that this is, you value other things. And I think as a result of that, you end up working with people that, the clients and the partners that are so focused on money first, like those are the biggest headaches and the people that are going to screw you. So I think once you align with that fun and fulfillment, you end up, just by working with the right people and being the right person, that it ends up so much better as a result.
Yeah, yeah, that's my experience. And just to answer Ron's question is, yeah, so I use Ecamm Live. I have my iPad connected to it. I have some fancy little templates set up so that I can just share my iPad screen and draw on it, or I can share my computer screen as well. But anyway, yeah, back to like, so what Jason was saying, picking the right partners. And to me, I can't say enough. Customer picking is also picking partners. Like, it's a choice. And to me, that is like a competitive advantage that most people don't think about because they're coming from the get picked perspective. Who can I get to pick me? No, we have to pick, and whether we want to or not, we do pick. Our language picks, what our offers are picks. It's all picking who's going to respond to that thing. And so one of the things I'll just kind of I'll see if I can do this clearly is that Seth Godin, he's got a different perspective on what an entrepreneur means than most people that are talking about it out there. I completely agree with Seth. I don't consider myself an entrepreneur. I, any of the people that I work with, I don't think of as entrepreneurs because entrepreneurs are building businesses that they sell. Seth calls us freelancers, that we're doing freelancing sort of things where we are doing work, creating, and it leverages into what Travis is calling creating assets, that sort of thing. And Travis would be more toward the entrepreneurial side than me, for example. But I don't consider him a pure entrepreneur because he isn't like building these big enterprises that you sell or that sort of thing. There's more freelancing with his unique expertise, and he knows how to leverage the hell out of it. Anyway, so anyway, considering ourselves freelancers instead of entrepreneurs to me is helpful. And but the thing that Seth says is the only way to move up the freelancing ladder is to pick better customers. And you don't get better customers by doing better work for lousy customers. So it's that, like, who are we willing to partner with and to go first and say, yes, I see your problem. I see all of these resources you bring to the table, and I think I can help you. Like that courage to keep stepping up as freelancers to higher and higher level of customers as partners and partnerships and that sort of thing. So anyway, where was I going to go next? Yeah, this feels like an important way to kind of think about it. So I have this little picture that I started drawing, and I haven't filled it in because I just want to go through it and we'll see here. And so these two little scales here, this one on this side of partner quality, going from crap to best. And so whether that's customers as partners or other partners, and then getting paid from hard too easy. And so what we're looking to do here is to make this shift. And so I'm just even going to ask, because I think this will be fun, at least for me, is like, when you think about working with crap customers, crap partners, in a way that is hard to get paid. I mean, like that, there's just so much stress and anxiety, that sort of thing. And my experience of it is that we're in this conflicted, adversarial type relationship, win lose. We're usually fighting over scraps with somebody else who wants the scraps, and neither, and there's not much there for either of us, and so there's like this over trying to get something there. And to me, I think of it as kind of adversarial. I'll put that at least for the a word as the moment. And so, dang, no, I don't play there anymore. I used to. I have a bunch of times, but then we think of like, okay, these are supposedly, whoops, wrong pen. Supposedly the best partners. Whoops, come on, there we go. All right, supposedly the best types of partners. At least they look good on paper, and I've had some interesting interactions with some, but it's too hard to get paid. Usually, at least my experience. Like, if you've seen some of the things that I was doing several months back, I was trying to see if I could do some partnership with Chris Voss's team, and I couldn't even get to communicate with a higher level person, and just communicating with a lower level person, and just it felt like I had to be subservient just to kind of have a chance. So to me, another place I don't want to go. I don't want to roll that way. And so then we go here to this side where it's easy to get paid, but they're bad partners. And sometimes it's easy to get paid in the moment or easy to get paid small amounts, but then the price that it costs to get paid that little bit. I'm just trying to think of a word. If you guys want to even chime in with a word that you think about of who we have to be in that relationship where we're trying to get the easy money, but it's with hard people to work with, and so maybe we get paid, but then it becomes kind of a nightmare. To me, it feel my experience has been that it's overwhelming. Like I've talked to some people, and I can tell like they weren't good partner material as customers or as partners, and so it's just like, okay, maybe there's an easy path to cash, but I don't know. To me, I'll just say right this at the moment, like it's felt dirty. It's felt just like, okay. Like it is like Travis talks about Danny DeVito bucks. Like I had to work too hard for those bucks, or I just didn't feel good about it. I felt like I had to take a shower or something after working with them, or that sort of thing. And so it's just not the kind of thing that I want. And then going here into the upper quadrant where they are the best quality of customer or partner and getting paid is easy. For me, that has happened best in the word for me is collaboration, where it's where like both with Jason and I, like we've uplifted each other's work. We've had that sounding board in all the stuff that we've done in the Fans and Fortunes book that I'm about ready to turn in the final version of that on Monday. Well, not the final, but to go to the editor, but the final from our side. So there's been a lot of collaboration there. Here on the mini Monopoly tools, a bunch of collaboration, a lot of collaboration in Jason's technical ability and his creation of the tools that if I could learn that, it would take me a hell of a long time, and I don't want to do it. And then me on the doing the models like I'm doing and the selling, like to me that's one of the funnest things. So it's back to that catching a person who likes it and is already doing those other things. And so we're ideally going for this upper corner here, where they are the absolute best people for us to work with, and the easiest way to get money. And so, an important piece that I want to bring to this that most people overlook or are unaware of. And so, when you think about Travis as a best person to partner with, so let me tell you exactly why. It is because of two things. One, everything he brings to the table. The other part is the shit he doesn't want to do. So this is like the most important thing for me to think about on that partner quality scale, is that combination of those two things, of what they bring to the table and then what they either can't do or are not doing on their own, that we're a perfect fit for filling that hole. Because I've tried to partner with the people who don't bring much to the table, and it doesn't matter how amazing whatever it is that I bring, it doesn't work. And so this is a place where I intellectually was saying it, wasn't practicing it for a long time, but then started practicing it more, like, okay, what a person brings to the table. Like the one consulting client that I've been mentioning recently, I saw the stuff that she was bringing to the table, and I knew that I was a perfect fit to help her make more sales. And so even though she paid me $15,000, within the first 22 days, she already had $14,500 of that money back. And so then it's been, okay, great. We're profitable, and we're just over halfway through the agreement now. And so I was able to see what it was that she had. And so then I said, okay, well, I know what I can do with that. And it's going to cost $15,000 for me to engage in this thing. And it was worth it for both of us because of that combination of what came to the table. And back to the thing that Seth Godin's quote, people who don't, helping crappy customers, getting better at helping crappy customers, that doesn't help you do anything worth a damn. Like if you think of Travis Sago either as a partner or as a customer, for example, helping a bunch of people who are trying to make their first dollar online, that doesn't put you in the range if your aspiration would be to work with Travis, for example. And so just thinking about those things. And so it's really important to understand that that's what we're doing. We're going in both of these directions at the same time so that we end up in the upper corner. And everything that I create, now that I understand this, I had no idea that this is how it works, and that, oh, now I see it. It's kind of easy because I've had some practice, and so I've ridden on that bike, and so now I know how to be a great partner for great partners, and I'm seeing more and more. Oh, there's easy ways to get paid for this thing, and there are going to be some things coming that came from that mastermind call that blew my mind yesterday. It's too early to even talk about kind of what direction that might be going, but seeing how to bring more high quality people into an easier place for all of us to benefit. And so, anyway, so those are coming. Okay, I see a question from Paul. He just typed it in. Okay. How do you find those best partners with this easy payment option? Do you have some criteria? How do you choose, accept someone as a partner or a client? Okay, great question, Paul. And so, so back to, so the mini monopoly, I can't emphasize how important that thinking is. So, step one, best partners are people who are fed up, but in a certain way. So, I'm just going to give you a very clear example here of, so with the Fans and Fortunes Formula book, Travis fed up with, holy crap, it took me a year to do the last book. I've got this great content. I'm not doing that shit again. Okay, so he has a fed up point and a problem built from something amazing. So people who have something amazing and then have a problem because of amazing. So that's a key way to think about it. And he's like, okay, who wants to partner with me on this book? I'm not going to pay you any money. And so Jason and I jumped in, and so we partnered on it because of the opportunity and where it's going, and we see where the money is, and so we know where the money part is going to happen, and we're both willing to bet on that, and so it requires that part of the understanding, but choosing fed up points, like being a connoisseur of the right fed up points for your expertise. Like, haven't heard anybody say it or think about it that way, but like, whoever picks the best fed up points picks the best customers and partners. And so then you speak to that thing, which is why I mean, I could talk for days about exactly why I'm so excited about how we've built these tools and the thinking behind it, because what it guides people through stuff that you don't have to learn. You can just do it. But that being a connoisseur of the fed up point, because people who are advanced have different kinds of fed up points than people who are newer. And so what we want to do is like, a funny way of thinking about it is like, I want somebody that has a bunch of expertise, that has a big gym-shaped hole in the middle of it. And so I plug in and like that thing works magically. And so that thought, like, it's funny to me now just thinking about it, because that's the first time I said, like, yeah, being a connoisseur of fed up points, and not all fed up points are created equal. And the best fed up points come with a lot of expertise, knowledge, audience, whatever it is that like there's so much that's already been developed, but then there's just one or two things that are holding that person back that we're a great match for. So that's my best way of talking about it, and hopefully giving a good example with just with the book there. All right, cool. All right. Anything else that you guys with where we're at so far, of just kind of like how this is landing? I know some of the thoughts are new for me, so it's kind of cool.
I really like that, being a connoisseur of fed up points. That was awesome. So, yeah, that makes a lot of sense too. And it's kind of like what you said with, that was one of your videos where you talk about, always talking about, like, you're always focused on the lucrative problems, the pain points that are lucrative. in your messaging. And in the same way, you're also adding in the those fed up points that are, going to be for the kind of people that, they're not struggling, but they've hit some kind of roadblock that they can't get past and they're fed up with it. You can come right in and fix it and help them get even further ahead than they were. So
Yeah, yeah, or even something that they don't want to do anymore, or whatever. And yeah, the person with 50 problems doesn't have any lucrative problems. The
Mhm.
person with one or two or three, those are lucrative problems because they have the other stuff in place. And so,
Yeah.
so to me, that's like the big difference is how many and what quality. Hmm. Hmm. Okay, cool. Great. And I see that comment from TJ. Thanks, TJ. Yeah, yeah. Okay, cool. I'm glad that makes sense for you. Anything, Harry or Jason, you want to either add in or ask about?
One thing that came to mind as you were talking about picking the right fed up points, like as I'm thinking through the kind of people that I want to partner with, a lot of the people that are doing big things, like their problem and the thing that they're fed up with is time and energy problems, not money problems. And I think the old way of dealing with that was let me use my time and energy to be able to fix that and come in and plug the hole. But that's kind of why I started in with AI tools, just that if we can come in with a tool that solves the time and energy problem for them without costing us all the time and energy, like we can come up with a huge list of these reasons why their best customers might not feel understood, and it's going to take us 1 or 2 minutes to go into Hell Island GPS and copy and paste that into a Google Doc. Like that sort of thing used to take me weeks to go through and do a really thorough research on those points. So I think that's a good way of being able to come in and solve the right fed up points for people that are already in motion that just don't want to spend their time and energy. They have more money than they have time, but we can solve that in a new way that's not costing us on our end.
Yeah, cool. This little Facebook post that I did, I don't know, it's been a week or so, maybe now. To me, so I said, yeah, for me, the best buyers have more money than time or less time than money, whichever way you want to look at it. The, they have very little time and a big stack of money, and they have more courage than arrogance. And so somebody who has a lot of money but is too arrogant, that's a challenge. But if they have the courage to gamble on some good bets, then okay, that's what I'm looking for. So looks like Harry's taking a note. I don't know if you were going to say something. Also wanted to say something, Harry.
No, I was just taking a note. I think
Yeah.
if you've been around the playground for any amount of time, I think we've come across all of these type of partners.
Mm.
Right? I've been paid stacks of money, but sometimes life's like pulling teeth.
Yeah.
Um, it's just incredible to think you finally get paid, so you kind of subside and think, okay. But and just a really more money than arrogance is a key fit. That really kind of stuck with me when you said it. This is really good stuff, Jim. Excellent.
Great. Great. Cool. Cool. Yeah. Yeah. And the way I look at it is like if you already know exactly how to solve whatever your problem is, then hire somebody who likes to take orders, pay them, and let them do it. But if it's possible that you don't know the best way to solve this and I might have something for you, then okay, let's talk. But if somebody is already certain they know, then cool, hire somebody because that's not my jam. Mhm. Cool. So let's see. What else did I have here? Um, so here's another. little piece that for me this ties in. So I just want to share it here of um, when I think about winning whatever it is. And so I want to back up just for a second. So I've had this interesting thought, this interesting relationship to the thought of winning and the thought of success and that sort of thing, where I used to think about it as competing against other people, and I don't like pissing contests and like one-upping people and that sort of thing. And so like because of that, I didn't like thinking about winning because that meant okay, winning, losing sort of thing. And so what has changed for me big time in that area is now I'm looking at what game am I trying to win and knowing, okay, what's the scoreboard? What are the measures where this isn't a competition against somebody else? And so, just for example, of the Mini Monopoly AI and our Make 'em Beg to Buy group, like for me, the game in there was okay, how many happy buyers can we get from this group of people that we have here? And for me, happy buyers is such an important context. And it's just like not how many sales can we make? Like, of course, like we want to make sales, and we want people to be happy that they've bought and happy with what they've purchased. And so to me, like, okay, but how many happy buyers can we get just from this relatively small group of people here? And so knowing and defining what that game was is very different than I want to be the best, whatever. Like those kind of games, I don't like those kind. But this kind of game of defining, okay, what's the game? What's the scoreboard? How are we going to measure? Like there's some things that are obvious in number of sales, but then okay, we're getting feedback and like, okay, are people liking it? What's going on? What adjustments do we need to make? So it's like it's a moving game at the same time. The targets are moving. And so to me, this has changed my relationship with winning. Now I play games that I fucking want to win. So like, whereas the other defeating other people, those weren't the kind of games that I wanted to win. So I play games that I want to win and that I can win or think I can win. And so this even comes back to like, okay, who are the best partners to help me win this thing, who want to win the same game that I want to win at, and that sort of thing. So just giving that little bit of context, because I know I had like kind of a pull away thought from winning before. And so now when I think in this context of what games am I playing and knowing my games, that's changed my relationship to the thought of winning. So if that's helpful for anybody. So then this thing that I was sharing here about, consistent winning, because I don't want to win once and not win. So I want ongoing games and games that build upon each other. And so I want things that are consistent. And so then these things that are required, which once again is about like, so consistent conditions. This is a lot about picking the playground. What's going on? What are we selling in where? Like kind of what's going on in there? Then I'm knowing my criteria of back to where I said lucrative, fun, and fulfilling. So what are the decisions that lucrative, fun, and fulfilling? Like, what do those take? Sometimes those take me getting tired. Like some of the things that I've done. Like there's some days where I'm like just like hammering at it because I know what game I'm playing and I know the decisions that game takes. And then clear advantages. Like what are the advantages that we can bring to the game? And so, like with this game of as many happy buyers as we could have with Mini Monopoly AI, one of the big advantages is having superior tools to what most people are experiencing out there in the world based on the Travis Sago's methodologies that people are already pre-sold on. So like taking those advantages. And so to me, this is like an important part of defining games. Knowing what the things are that we want. So for me, like I said, lucrative, fun, and fulfilling. And then if I know what game it is that I want, what I want to get out of it, then there are conditions. Like Michael Jordan, he like he wasn't that great as a baseball player, pretty good. But if he would have tried to play basketball on the baseball field, he would have been worse. Like because it's not the conditions for what he was trying to do, and then requires decisions. Like what are the decisions that I'm willing to make to win this game that I've chosen for myself? And so to me, this is like being smart about picking the games as well. What's the game I want to win? And I've played the games that I hated of like, okay, how can I get a sale to this person and have some money? And then shit, I end up on the hook for delivering some stuff that I didn't really want to do in the first place. I know that game really well and I don't want to play that game anymore. And so just like defining the games that I'm playing. And then, yeah, so what are the conditions that make that game fun and winnable? What are the decisions? What are the clear advantages that we need to bring to the table? And so then this relates back, of course, you'll see to like who are the partners, setting it up so it's easy to get paid, offers that we love. And so doing my best to like triangulate this multiple ways that it's so much of the same thing, but just like almost like sometimes I have these weird thoughts. One of my weird thoughts is like imagine if you're looking to buy a house and you're meeting a realtor at the house, and I've seen this a bunch of times. Okay, the realtor isn't there. You know it's the right house. You have the address. You see the for sale sign on it, and so then trying to get a look through the windows. Oh, wow. Okay, looking through this window, it looks like this, and then going around to the other side of the house. Oh, wow. Okay, I didn't know that about this house. And so what I'm doing my best to do is kind of give you as many multiple perspectives at what to me is the same thing. And so I'm just like that. I have a bunch of different ways that I'm trying to look at and articulate the same thing. And so hopefully that's coming across that there's this cohesive theme in here is what I'm looking to do. And so that was the last piece that I have, but I'm happy to like share any other thoughts, answer questions, like wherever, whatever makes sense here. And let's see. Okay.
I know I'm gonna have to jump here in a little
Mhm.
bit to go get my son from school, but so like the comment that you had up on the screen, the specific conditions, like that would be the person with the 1 to 3 fed up points that are lucrative. That would kind of be a specific condition you're looking for. And
Yeah.
then, yeah, so I just want to make sure I understood
Yep.
that the specific condition that would
Yep.
be like one that you would consider.
Yep. So yeah, let's even just expand that just slightly. Of yeah, so yep, specific conditions of what they bring to the table, what challenges that they have, then what you like to do. Like that's a condition. Like okay, the stuff that I like to do, does that help solve that, or do I have already something done that we can just plug in there that solves that? So definitely looking kind of from that perspective. And then yeah, like is this something that I'm going to get paid for? And like okay, what part am I willing to do to connect on the small piece, help them get a win fast that is very little effort for me, but is personable and like builds that connection, like these sorts of things of just like looking at the various conditions of the game that you like to play, like being the chooser in that way of like, hey, yeah, I can play any game I want with any people that I want. Maybe not the specific, I can't pick the exact name of a person, but the kinds of people, like we can all, in my opinion, play the games we want with the kinds of people that we want. We have to bring some things to the table, and we have to then make the connections and those sorts of things.
Okay. Yeah, I like that. Helps
Cool.
explain that a lot.
Cool. And then TJ, all right, so one question here. Are you finding it easy to find the upper right quadrant people that you love the offer and they have the gym-sized hole with the level of expertise and lack of ego? Like there are there are a lot that are not, but for me, what I it doesn't take a lot. The way that I'm doing things, it doesn't take very many partners. So right now, like in partnerships, like with Travis Sago on a few things. Travis Spiegel and I have been in partnerships. We don't have anything active right at the moment. And then with Jason on a couple of things, and yeah, with a couple other people. But I just the way I go about it and look at it is I want a very few number of partners, and I consider myself to be as a super picky person, and then I demand a lot from myself as how I show up to the partnership as well, so that I'm a great partner for them. And so yeah, so I'm definitely I focus much more on quality than quantity is my thought there. And then to being lucrative, but I only want to work hard finding them if I feel I've got long-term payment stream. Yeah, exactly. So to me, this goes into like long-term ways of getting paid is I want to catch and find people who have a long-term history of getting paid themselves. And so Travis Sago, he's got a long-term great history of that. And so he's a great person to partner with from that aspect. And so yeah, so I like to look at like, yeah, what are they already doing, have a track record of doing, are amazing at, and then have something that is really aligned with what I can bring to the table. And like, like for those of you that are in Ronin, like one of the early conversations in there is like, what's like your 10 of hearts for somebody who has ace, queen, king, jack of hearts, so that you complete a royal flush. And it's taken me a while to really, it's constantly developing. So it is where it is right now. It's going to hopefully keep getting better. And I've been at it for decades of, I just love re-explaining from different angles, brilliant stuff that I hear and merging things and making them clear through visual models. And so it's just, I love doing it. And it's particularly suited to people who are these fire hose type people, and they don't want to slow down. They got more stuff that they want to talk about. And so they have people in their audience who need a slower, more comprehensive and hands-on or practical version or that sort of thing. And so that's kind of how I look at just like what I have the most fun doing and what really matches for some high caliber people. Harry, go ahead.
Yeah, and to TJ's point, it's a good question. But coming back to what Jason said previously about the coin flipping, right?
Yeah.
It's really a case of um having kind of an idea or a radar of what type of people he could be one of those, or she or whoever
Yeah.
okay, I'm gonna flip a coin. I'm gonna get there. I'm gonna get on a coffee date. I'm gonna explore that. And if it flips and it's no, then that's okay. Gonna move on. But when you find that one, um, then it really is a case of, man, this is a phenomenal partnership, and it's just not a one-off. If it continues, then it was worth all of that effort to find a one or the two. I got my wife now, 25 years.
Yeah.
It was worth all the effort. Ask
Right.
any of my ex-girlfriends, they said I wasn't worth it. But
Right.
but
Yeah.
I flipped that one time, and boy, it landed right. So, I think it's the same with clients. Kind of know what you're looking for. Just get out there and do it, and yeah, just get on those coffee dates and find the right ones.
Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
my take on that.
Absolutely. I completely agree with that. And that, like, one of the things I do is I trust more and more, like some people call trusting your gut. Sometimes I think of it kind of like as a stoplight sort of thing of red, green, red, yellow, and green. And I tried to make stuff happen with when I was getting an internal red light way too many times. And sometimes I got paid, sometimes I didn't. I got frustrated and regretted it every time. The yellow lights, not necessarily as bad a frustration, but sometimes it was a frustration that just longer. And so then it ended horribly. And so for me, like, I've just developed my internal green light of like, okay, this feels like it could work. And then like we were talking about earlier, of just those small tests of just finding out like, okay, how does this person react when that happens? And we can't predict what's going to happen. It's just only through the partnership, just like with a dating relationship or marriage. Like, okay, we got to get in some of these things and find out, like, similar in a way, even to like a job interview. Like, a lot of people can be great at a job interview, know all the right things to say, but then they're incapable of actually doing the job under the whatever those conditions are, or whatever. And so, yeah, being able to test some of these things. Um, and oh, here's another thing that I was thinking about earlier, of just I think Jeff Bezos even like kind of had brought this concept up for a lot of people of knowing the difference between one-way doors and two-way doors. And so most doors in reality, if we, and so the door to a partnership is what I'm referring to here, is like we can go in a door and we can actually get back out relatively painlessly if it's like a small test and that sort of thing. And there are some that maybe they require a full commitment and you can't come back. It's a disaster if it doesn't work out. And so we really need to think those ones over. But a lot of them, if we just do the steps in ways that we can come back out the door if it wasn't a fit, and we're just like, hey, you tried, I tried, didn't work. And to like waste, quote unquote waste, use a minimum amount of time and energy in those things and before finding out that sort of thing. But sometimes what can happen is kind of like, especially you see it in movies, of like either the guy or the girl has all of these dreams about what this life is that they're going to live together, and they're just still on their first date. And so then they're treating it like, okay, this is a one-way door that, okay, once I'm in, I'm in. And like, no, wait, let's do things slowly so that we can still, as we're just finding out how we work together, if we can work together, and then just find out what that's like and that sort of thing.
On that point too, that emphasizing that with partners can make it a whole lot easier to make those things happen too. If they don't feel like it has to be a one-way door, that they're signing up for a huge, they're signing up for the marriage. They're gonna vet you and need all the testimonials and case studies and all this and that. But yeah, when it's that two-way door, makes life a whole lot easier, both for you and for them.
Perfect. Yes. Okay. And I want to also relate that to customers, to selling the AI tools, to selling outputs from the AI tools, all of that stuff. Okay. See you, Harry. Thanks for being here. Yeah. So if you notice out in the market, so many people are making these big, crazy ass promises of, oh, I'm going to do this thing that's going to change your life forever, all of this stuff. And when we show up as I don't know for sure, but it could be that maybe your people need you to understand them in a way that you can't quite see. Would you like to just find out what might be on their minds that you could be overlooking? Like, relieves all the pressure for them and for us. It's just like, hey, no, let's just do a little experiment. You tell me who your best customers are and how you help them. Let's see if I can tell you a little bit about the GPS of the hell island that they're living on. Let's just see if it even makes sense. It might not make sense. Let's just find out. Whereas like this promise escalation is the thing that makes everything feel like a one-way door and like, oh, I got to pay all of this money and do this thing of like, oh no, let's take pressure off ourselves, take pressure off of the other person as a decision maker, and then back to being able to do the testing of the relationships. All right. Well, I'm kind of feeling like maybe it's time to wrap it. So, I hope this was helpful. It was a lot of fun for me. It just, I love it when I don't know exactly what I'm going to talk about. I was intentionally less scripted today than a lot of times. Just find out like where does this thing want to flow, and it felt like it went in some fun and good directions for me. It seems like it for at least for you guys on the screen as well. And so,
Yeah, it's definitely good.
thanks.
Yeah,
Okay,
appreciate
perfect.
it.
Perfect. Okay, thanks, Chad. Yeah, and thanks everyone for being here. And so I'm going to wrap this up. If you happened to be here late, I'm going to post the recording this time. Didn't have any internet issues, so I think we got a clean recording. And so I'll drop this into the group. And thanks, everybody.
Thanks.
All right,
Appreciate it.
bye.
See you guys.